Alrighty, you guys, welcome back to a brand new episode here on
The ankle.
Hey Ember.
I hate you like I'm young.
The ankle's a little mean.
So, do you guys like the new intro? We'll test it out for today, but I don't know if it'll get copyrighted or not. But thank you so much for tuning on in, you guys. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Thursday. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, like and subscribe, become a top. So, for today's video, we are taking a look at Beck's latest reaction to Oh Lordy It's Jordy's Q&A. I did watch this yesterday morning. To be honest though, I wasn't paying full attention, so I don't remember. But yeah, I know that some tea is spilled in here. I also know I got a few comments last night saying that Beck wants to do a Q&A. Like, I'm very appreciative that Beck wants to do something with the channel. I just feel like all the questions I would want to ask are going to be mean ones, and Beck isn't going to want to answer those, which I don't blame them for. You know, like, I want to know, did Amberlynn waffle stomp in the shower? Like, stuff like that. I don't really give a shit about, you know, the dirty details on all of the events and stuff that went down. I mean, I do, but we haven't even gone through the Beck era in the Big Cherry Retro React, so I don't fully know everything that there is to know about that era yet. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We can also do what Jordy did and just open up comments, essentially, so that Beck, or so that I can, like, filter through and find questions for Beck. But let me know your thoughts, guys. I am open to doing it. It's just, yeah, y'all would definitely need to help me, because I really just want to know the waffle stomp. Oh, my God. But, yeah, with that, let's dive right on into this, guys. Thank you so much once again. And, yeah, let's just dive right on in, shall we?
Hey, hi, how are ya?
Hey, Jordy. Y'all, okay, listen, I know it's like a joke between him and his audience, but y'all, with the jaundiced Jordy, I fucking can't.
I think I could pull that off more if I had pink hair and looked like Voldemort. Never mind. So this is going to be the video that Beck will receive to react to if they so choose to do so. Beck is recently been launching a reaction series to reaction channels and getting the community involved in asking questions that they have always wondered what occurred during what I refer to as season 4 of Amberlynn Reid.
Wouldn't it be so nice if all the girlfriends did this? Or, you know, past partners. If all the past partners did this, like a little sit-down Q&A with each and every single reaction channel. Oh my God, would piss Amber off.
Let's just get started.
Also, I think it's very telling that people are more open to interviewing Beck than they are to interviewing, like, Alexis. Right? Right?
Beck. These are coming straight from my community, and on my behalf, it'll go through the Jordy filter, so to speak. Okay, so the first question is from someone named Raven Elise, and I actually wonder this as well. Amberlynn is immobile, or close to immobile, during the time that you spent with her during your season. Raven and I would like to know, what does Amberlynn do with all of her time?
I mean, we kind of know the answer to this, don't we? She sits on her damn phones.
This is something that you guys probably already know about her, but it depends on what she's into in the moment. Like, it could be reading and being on her computer for hours upon hours at a time.
See, that's where you gotta be careful with your interests. in my opinion. If I burn myself out on an interest in one single day, then I'm not going to have any energy for it the rest of the week. You know what I mean? It's not with everything, but with like my side stuff that I do, it's very much how it is. So you gotta gauge your time a bit better. But she gets so hyper focused on stuff.
She would have so many tabs open, and it would just be like YouTube, shopping. She would have her personal journal that she would write in open. I don't
Eye roll.
know. Sometimes I didn't even know because I didn't even really see a lot of her computer or her phone. She was also on her phone, but I was aware of the many different tabs that she was on, because another thing with Amber was no matter what.
Doesn't that seem odd? You live with someone for 4 years and you never know what they're looking at on their phone or on their laptop. Like, I understand Beck did not give a flying fuck. But, isn't that odd? Right?
She was doing or what we were doing, she could only handle it for so long, and then she would have to switch to something else. So if we were watching a movie or a TV show or something, we can only watch so much of it. And
see, I find this interesting because she can say that her attention is so short she can hardly pay attention to something, but then will make Beck sit there all day or for multiple days in a row playing that stupid choosy game, which we'll get to that. What? Like, how does that make any freaking sense?
she would pause it and we'd have to do something else.
Because it wasn't about Amber, that's why. Anything with that doesn't directly involve Amber or talking about Amber, she doesn't want to do it.
For a little while before we come back to it. She also was really into puzzles and Legos and journaling. And one thing that took up a lot of time was this game that she would force me to play called Choosy.
This sounds so stupid. Like, honestly, it sounds like something you would, your toddler wouldn't even make you do. That's how stupid it is.
Or she would take a bunch of, like, thousands of stickers, like she bought bulk stickers, and had me pick between them all the way down until I picked one single sticker to be the best sticker of all.
That's psychotic. That is psychotic. To force someone to do that, Amber, psychopath behavior or something. Like, I don't know, but like definitely a screw is loose.
And she made me do this with buttons and earrings, calendar pages. She would buy a bunch of small calendars and tear the pages out and then have me pick.
That's crazy.
Between the pictures down to which one I like the most. And
I'm surprised she didn't tape them up over the fucking windows afterwards, dude. Like, this is giving really unhinged, I guess. I don't know. I hate using that terminology, but like,
Croc Charms, she would make me play Choosy between Croc Charms.
And she doesn't even have Crocs.
And she didn't even own a pair of Crocs.
What? Dude, this is stupid.
She just had thousands of Crocs.
Beck, how... Dude, genuinely, how did you deal with that? My God. My God. If life was relatively fine before Amber came into it, I would have got rid of her before I started hitting up the doctors. Jeez. I'm not, like, shading Beck at all. It's just, I don't know how they dealt with this.
Charms for no reason. And sometimes, because there was so many, like
Eric and Ricky too, I don't know how they dealt with it, and they still go back for more.
Stickers and earrings, it would take hours and sometimes even days to completely get down to just.
But she can hardly pay attention to a movie or YouTube video. Okay.
One. And another thing that would take up.
Do you think she's sitting in her apartment playing Choosy by herself now?
A lot of time is she would set a timer for 45 minutes to an hour usually, and she would have me sit behind her and pretend to pick lint off of her back.
Excuse me?
because she liked the way it felt and sounded because of ASMR.
Uh, Not Amberlynn making you use her back as a picking board, dude. Ew. What the fuck? Oh, Amber. You never. She never gets, like, or stops getting sadder. Ain't that hilarious? Her life just gets more and more despicable.
And she would have me do this for so long that my arms and stuff would hurt. And whenever I would want to stop, she would sigh and just be like, well, I'm going to pause the timer. So she would pause the timer for my little break. And then I'd have
For my little break.
to immediately go back to it. And she would unpause the timer again.
She's a psycho, dude. Sorry to say it. She's a psycho.
Sometimes I would catch her not unpausing the timer because she would want me to do it for longer.
Of course.
Next up, we have a question from Gracie. I don't know if that's a reference to a specific animal, but Gracie asked this question. Gracie wants to know, when did the relationship between you and Amberlynn go from bad to worse? I know that people tend to put on their best face when they first get into relationships and slowly
Bro, I bet it was
leak
probably pretty fucking instantly.
out the toxicity as they get along. So at what point did you realize, oh God, I'm in too deep, or oh God, the honeymoon phase has definitely worn off?
In the beginning, things were all right, but there were some signs of her being controlling. Then it got worse whenever we moved in together. And then even worse whenever I quit my job and started taking care of her and quote unquote working for her full time. So I feel like that was
See, that's crazy. And there's nothing to show for it. Yeah, because she's a bitch.
when I definitely felt like I was too deep in to leave.
Princessa would like to know, were there
So pretty much from the beginning. Jesus.
ever times during when you were in renal failure that you felt unsafe to drive, whether it be to how you felt from your condition or from being heavily medicated, that Amberlynn sort of pitched a bitch and demanded that you go get her fast food, went to Walmart, run her errands? Were
Well, yeah, of course.
there ever times where you felt, this is not a good idea, but if I don't do it, it will unleash the beast, so I better do it?
As you guys know, at that time, I was heavily medicated and I should not have been on the road. And I put myself in danger and other people in danger. And I wish I could go back and tell myself it wasn't worth it to take those risks. I'm aware that I should not have been on the road during that time.
To be fair, I don't think anyone really holds that against Beck. Like, yes, it's good. Take the accountability. But I don't think anyone holds it against Beck because we know who they were dealing with. You know what I mean? When you have someone that's ready to scream blackmail if you say no to her, you know, like...
But from what I remember,
It's not enabling someone if they're abusive to you. Then it's just survival.
I didn't really feel like I was making a conscious decision. I just knew that I felt bad, but I wasn't sure what was causing it at the time. I was afraid to leave, but I was being pressured to take care of others, specifically Amber's needs.
Right.
Even though I know now that I had a choice, at the time I felt like I didn't. And I
That too. Amber would certainly make it feel as if you had no choice in the situation.
will always regret that.
Peyton Ford asks, how long was the match
So yes, essentially, yes, Amber would force Beck to do those things.
mattress in the living room where you guys lived? And whose idea was it to put a mattress arbitrarily in the middle of a living room for Amberlynn to loiter on?
She was free bleeding on that mattress.
It was over a period of, I want to say, about 2 years.
God damn.
Whenever she would want to hang out in the living room, I would have to drag the mattress out. And when we were done hanging out, I would have to drag it back into the spare bedroom. It
Go figure.
wasn't the bed that we slept on. It was my bed from before we were together, and it stayed in the spare bedroom. So it didn't stay in there all the time, but I did drag it back and forth for many days over the course of a few years. But it was all Amber's idea, and it was because she would get uncomfortable sitting on the couch because
her legs can't bend like that. That's why. They can't bend to sit at the couch. Oh my god. At what point do you look at yourself and think, what the fuck have I done? At what point, Amber? Oh my Jesus. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because that part of her brain, the rational part, is going to get overridden by the delusional, saying, no, you're fine. The world just needs to accept you for who you are, this and that. Like, you can cushion the blow to your ego without still making it super detrimental to yourself physically. You know what I mean?
her ankles would swell, and it would just be more comfortable for her to be able to stretch her legs out.
Listen, I don't even want to be a dick about it. That's just sad.
And there were also other reasons that I won't disclose.
Orion
Oh. It's because she was free bleeding. That's another reason why. Who wants stains all over their couch?
Mars asks, was there ever a point during your relationship with Amber Lynn when you guys were still going?
And the thing is, like, free bleeding is specific to menstrual bleeding. Is it considered free bleeding if she had uterine cancer or something and was just pouring blood out of there for like 2 years? Because Beck said the mattress was for about 2 years, and that's how long Amber was bleeding before she went and had surgery. I don't know.
On double dates with Destiny and Dana, that Destiny kind of tried to give you hints or kind of suggest to you that being in a relationship with Amber wasn't a good idea, or said,
I mean, how many red flags do you need?
something along the lines of encouraging you to get away from Amber?
No, she never really, nudged me or tried to.
Well, of course not. I mean, Destiny knows how Amber is in relationships. She knows that if Destiny said anything along those lines, Amber would probably find out about it. And also, Destiny doesn't want to lose her pay pig. Like, let's be so for real. She ain't going to talk shit necessarily, because she wants to keep that money.
Get me to do that or anything, but there were plenty of times where she would look at me and be like, I don't know how you put up with her. And they would also bicker.
I mean, true tea.
And argue a lot when they would be around each other. It was just
Oh, okay. Amber always made it seem like they were the best of friends.
how their dynamic was too.
So there's a person that typically comes onto social media and creates a little bit of an uproar every so often by the name of Annie Doran. Would you mind discussing a little bit who Annie Doran is?
Is this the lady that released the voice notes from Beck's mom? Is that who this is? The name Annie Doran doesn't really pop up for me.
Your relation to Annie Doran and any of the claims that Annie Doran has made that you are aware of?
So this is a question that I've wanted to address for a while, but I wasn't sure how to approach it. I do see her comments here and there, and it does make me uncomfortable to see her still talking about my mom. So Anne got a hold of my mom because my mom was selling wreaths that she made, and she asked Amber to advertise them on YouTube, and she did. So Anne got a hold of my mom and bought a wreath from her, and
That's sweet.
just continued to talk to my mom after that as if she wanted to be friends with her. And my
Gotcha.
mom thought she really wanted to be friends, but the more she talked to her, the more my mom realized that Anne was only in for it for Amber. She was obsessed with Amber and she wanted to know everything about Amber. And
Listen, would I say obsessed? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just your casual hater. But that is like inherently nasty, right? You want to become friends with someone or be friendly with someone just to get dirt on someone else. Like, that's not nice. Sorry. But like the dichotomy of man in me is that's not nice or I'm about to be a dick.
because my mom and Amber weren't getting along at that point, my mom did say some things to
I mean, I'm sure.
Anne about Amber, which you guys had seen in that screenshot with those voice notes. But there were times that she would say negative things about me to my mom, and it felt like
Oh, ew.
she was trying to come between me and my mom. And I don't mean
There was also a very different kind of public idea about Beck at the time back then. People did not like Beck for the longest time. It wasn't until after the breakup, or I think a little before, because people were seeing how mean Amber was being. And I think that's what pushed people to like Beck more, was seeing how mean Amber was to them all the time.
things that were brought up on YouTube. I mean, there were random things that were just blatant lies. She lied a lot. And as for the things that I know she has said, the story about her being stuck in the shower and the fire department having to be called didn't happen. I
Oh?
don't know where she would have gotten that story. I know
She probably watched it on My 600-Pound Life.
my mom definitely didn't say that. And as for Amber weighing 700 pounds, that also isn't true that I know of.
That Beck knows of. So there is a possibility.
The most that I was aware of her weighing was like 570 or 80 something. And after that, she just stopped weighing herself around
Well, see. So
me. So I really have no idea.
So she even turned around then and started hiding her true weight from her partner and the people she was living with. She definitely got above 600 pounds. Definitely.
How much she ended up weighing, but I don't think it was 700 pounds, and I don't know where she would have got that information from.
I mean, true.
Was there ever a single lie that stuck out to you more than any of the others? Raven Elise would like to know. Was there anything that Amberlynn told her audience where you just thought to yourself, wow, I cannot believe that she is that confident lying about that?
Yeah, there were times whenever she would show in a what I ate in a day video, she would
See, this is another thing that we already knew. We knew she doesn't show us everything that she eats in a day. It's just not possible. We knew that, but it's good to have confirmation.
exactly show everything that she ate. She would just show you guys what she thought was acceptable for you guys to see. And
See? See, and half the time it's still too much.
And just not even talk about the other things that she would eat. So I was just always shocked that she really thought people would believe that. And I think you guys already know this, but there were...
And that's probably what's still happening nowadays. Her being like, oh, I can hardly eat, you guys. I'm only barely getting in 1,000 calories a day. But still not losing any weight? Okay.
For many days that she would film lots of videos in one day, and she would switch her outfits to make it more
T. And then she wonders why we think she doesn't shower for a week at a time. Yo, that's fucking funny.
convincing that it was different days. And she would also ask me to change my outfits to make it more convincing for those videos.
Lord.
Aisha asks if there were ever times where you would deliberately take longer during the errands that Amber Lynn would send you on just so that you could have more time away from her.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, 1,000%.
I would. I did it every single time, every chance I got. That's also what I would do in the bathroom a lot. I would pretend to be using...
That's such a sad thing because that very much reminds me of like living at home with my parents. I would take really long showers just to get away, you know, and to close myself off. It's just sad.
The bathroom for a long time, but I would really just be in there having my peace.
So we have all been clued in on what really happened with Amber Lynn and the wiping situation. It was not just solely something that took place after her hysterectomy. There was a lot of upkeep on your end in terms of Amber Lynn's personal hygiene.
I mean, yeah, I would say pretty much the entire relationship.
What was Ricky and Eric's
Look how nasty she looks, dude. Just so dirty all the time.
involvement in that, if anything? Did Eric and Ricky ever help wash? Did they ever help do anything? Or did they just kind of...
Well, would it have been nice of them? Sure. But Amber Lynn is not deserving of any help from anyone, okay? Beck or the boys. And that's not their responsibility. That's not your friend's responsibility to make sure that your personal hygiene stays up to date. It's not even your girlfriend's. So,
look at you and say, well, she's your girlfriend. That's your problem.
That's kind of the fair response, though, isn't it?
It was definitely the latter. They were just basically like, well, it's your girlfriend, your responsibility. You know, you really shouldn't have to be doing these things anyway. But of course they weren't going to help, but understandably, and they should not have had to.
Yeah, basically what it boils down to.
Next question.
Not even Beck should have had to. Let's get to that point. Not even Beck should have had to. Amber had no medical reason for getting to the size that she did other than she's a lazy glutton. Why do people that... Well, now listen, I think that's a slippery slope of, like, why do people that harm themselves deserve help? They do, 1,000%. But it should not fall onto the backs of people that are just in their everyday life. You need professional help then. Don't push that onto the people in your life.
Question is, do you know or remember what exactly happened after the "is that my cereal" incident when Amber Lynn
T
approached you when you were sitting on the couch in the living room and said very kind of furiously, "What cereal is that?" And you covered for her by saying, "What's that over there?" And Amber Lynn stomped off.
I think she was just trying to be like, you're being recorded. Look over there.
Six people here. Why did you guys? Huh?
The way she looks around like, sorry. Now this is an Eric's vlog, by the way, not one of hers. Fuck!
What is that over there?
Jesus, dude, the freaking shuffling. That's what she does. She doesn't even walk. She just shuffles across the floor.
Was there a
Going through doorways, sideways. Oh my god.
follow-up to that? Were there ever moments where food aggression was very apparent with Amber Lynn?
I think we had recently discussed dieting and counting calories, and it was cereal that we had already had, and I didn't want it to go to waste, but I think it's because she was upset at the fact that we had talked about eating healthy and I was eating the Cocoa Puffs. But
God forbid you have some cereal, dude.
we all know that the diet was going to be over in a few hours anyway, because that's just how she was. So usually I would have been trying.
How freaking tragic is that? She can't even last a few hours, dude. This girl needs to literally be chained to a wall so she won't eat.
To take the diet seriously, but that day I just knew the diet wouldn't last and I ate the Cocoa Puffs. As for the food aggression, I feel like she did have some food aggression, but I don't really have any specific examples because I feel like I was spared from that because we had very different tastes in.
Amber did not make Beck eat the same food that she did all the time. Beck was probably one of the girlfriends or partners that were able to avoid that, but still was put through it occasionally on camera.
Food, and I just never really wanted to try what she had.
Could you tell us in your words what exactly happened with the Jonesy rings that you used to propose to Amber in the infamous video and the screenshots that followed along in what
The Walmart rings that Amber bought for herself. That's the thing. I would never shame someone for where they got their ring. Except for Amber. I wouldn't have even shamed Beck for going to Walmart and buying them. But Beck didn't buy them. Amber did.
the community refers to as
Imagine having to buy your own engagement rings. It's sad. It's sad, but it's what Amber deserves.
Ringgate.
So I did try to sell them on a Facebook marketplace, but no one wanted them. So Amber did.
That's crazy, dude. Because I remember people were watching it at the time. People knew when those listings went up and everything, and no one bought them? Damn. It's because no one's going to pay $300 for a Walmart ring.
Catch wind of it, and she wanted them back. I don't know what she wanted them back for. I guess maybe to try to sell herself, but
Oh, of course. She wanted the money. She didn't want Beck to have nothing.
I don't know. I ended up giving her one of them back, and I lost the other one by the time I'd gotten the other one to her.
Strawberry Shortcake asks if
Well, I mean, technically, Amber did pay for them.
Amber Lynn admitted to free bleeding. Were you also expected during your time with Amber to clean up after all?
That's biohazard, okay? Let's just get that straight.
Human bodily functions?
Yeah, I knew about the free bleeding, and I did have to sometimes clean up after it, but that's all.
I'm sorry. Beck, you're a better person than I am. That shit's disgusting, okay? Not the fact that it was necessarily happening. I understand why it was. But it's gross, okay? And I'm sorry that you, as her partner, were forced to do the stuff that nurses should be doing. She should have been in a hospital.
I'll really say about that.
So, you know there's a lot worse stuff there than if Beck is gonna stop there. Yeesh.
Anna Cottrell wants to ask if, and of course you don't have to disclose the answer to this, are there things that you are taking to the grave, so to speak, when it comes to Amber Lynn? Are there certain details or events that happened that, no matter how juicy the drama or the ability for you to profit or get clout off of it or anything of the sort, are there things that happened in your relationship with Amber Lynn that you plan on never disclosing to the world?
Yes, there
I mean, I'm sure.
are some things that I do keep to myself just because they are embarrassing and wouldn't be very kind to share with the world. And though Amber has called.
Listen, Beck's a better person than me. And I think Beck is too good for this situation because Amber went out of her way to embarrass you, dog. Knowing that you have all of this dirt on her? Come on now. Come on.
Called me a liar and money hungry and has tried to embarrass me. My goal has never been to do those things to her. I only wanted.
Listen, someone's going to come along that ain't going to be that nice, okay?
To tell my story and to help her see that she needs to take some accountability.
Listen, I appreciate that, I guess. I don't know. But she don't deserve that.
Isabel Schumacher asks, during the transition between your season and Jade's season 5, was Jade kind to you? Did Jade kind of make the overlap in the relationship as easy and not awkward as possible? Did it kind of turn into Amber Lynn wanting you out of there and Jade in? Was it sort of like a 2 versus 1 situation?
I get so much shit for not being a Jade fan. When the hell did people start liking Jade? The fuck?
Jade remained neutral.
She was kind to my face, but I did find out later on from Eric and Ricky that
I'm sure she was talking shit, okay?
she would talk.
Birds of a feather. If you get drawn to Amber Lynn, there's no way that you're that decent of a person. I mean, come on. And I would say specifically after Beck era. Before that, there could be some plausible deniability. You know what I mean? After Beck era, there's no way that you are going to proceed with a relationship with Amber Lynn and not know what there is to know. There's no way anyone's going to be a good person now that comes into her life. I'm sorry.
About me behind my back.
And Jade was a feeder too. Amber Lynn fucking confessed to that Jade would have her sit on her. Come on. She was into the smothering and all that shit too.
Didn't make it any easier or harder because I was already halfway out the door whenever she moved in.
Lori asks, was there ever an incident or a period of time where you considered calling a mobile crisis team or initiating a 5150 for Amber, maybe staging an intervention with people that were in her social circle? Did that ever strike your mind as something that might be a good idea?
So I did not realize that you could do something like that. But I think if that were to have happened, she just would have cut everybody off and came back not changing a thing.
Oh, yeah.
The mattress and litter box that you recently told us about being covered in piss and shit that no one was attending to regarding the pets that you came across, were you responsible for cleaning all of that up and throwing away the mattress? Were there times where you were throwing away mattresses or things that normally, if they were given ordinary maintenance, you would just kind of throw them away because they were beyond repair, or it was better to just buy a new one instead of clean it?
I was the one who eventually cleaned up the litter boxes. Some people may think that was the first sign to turn around and run, and I should have, but I felt bad for her. At the time, I thought she just needed help, and that was something that Amber could just physically not do, but that's not an excuse to put your animals through that.
True.
The bed was beyond saving, and Amber didn't know what to do with it, so she ended up just leaving it behind.
I can only imagine what all the landlords thought, dude.
Which is unfair to the people who owned that apartment and had to dispose of it.
Yeah, because that's a biohazard.
The other mattress that we had to get rid of was the one that we slept on for years.
Oh? Why?
And we ended up burning it
What?
before we moved to Lexington.
Brother, you have to burn a bed. Well, one, that is not proper disposal, okay? That's very bad for the environment. So, I don't like that. um, especially because a lot of mattresses are filled with fiberglass. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. But what kind of death stains were on that mattress then, dude? Was her literal corpse outlined on that mattress then? Like, what the fuck? Ew. It must have been like soaked through with bodily fluids and blood. I bet you she shit herself in that bed too.
Faye asks, so there were times when you left for upwards of days for time to spend with your family and Amber was left alone at the house.
Oh, you know she was spiraling.
What did you do in the event, or what did she do in the event that you weren't around?
There were a lot of things that she couldn't do without me, so that's why my time away from her or with my family was very limited, because she would try to take care of things on her own, but then she would text me and make me feel bad for,
of course,
not being there to help,
because she can't do a damn thing,
her do the things that she couldn't do without me. So she would do her best to not do those things that she needed help with while I was gone.
Go figure.
Mackie.
Go figure. So wait. Things that she needed help with, i.e., going to the bathroom, she would just not clean. Oh my god. Oh my god. Or in Amber's defense, she could wipe herself, but she would just make Beck do it when they were there, in order to further push humiliation and degradation. Ambi, either way you cut it, you're an abusive piece of shit.
He asks, what were Amber Lynn's thoughts about Michael B. Petty? And what I would like to add on to this is, would Amber Lynn look into reaction channels in regards to wanting to sue them?
No, that's way too much effort. It's way too much effort. I'm just going to say that.
Or looking up information about them.
That she'll do.
To anonymously spill tea about them. Would she deliberately create rumors about reaction channels to...
Oh? Is that something that's been going on? Tea.
Tarnish their image. Recently, it was disclosed to us by Amber Lynn's ex-friend Alexis that Amber Lynn paid for my information, and who knows what she would have done with it. Has she ever done...
That's so weird and creepy. It really is. It really freaking is. Because if you're not going to try to get into contact with them, then what's the reason? Right? Then what's the reason? I mean, even doing all that just to contact someone, fucking pathetic. But it feels borderline like stalking, right?
Anything or that you know of.
And she wants to throw around the stalker term very loosely and very frivolously, which goes to show, I think, how she doesn't take it seriously as a concept, probably because she's the one doing it.
During the time that you spent with her, that she kind of went after reaction channels in an unorthodox way?
So there were a lot of reaction channels that she couldn't stand. Like, she couldn't stand Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. She couldn't stand Michael B. Petty. She completely got Kicking Geese taken down, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Is Kicking Geese taken down? I didn't think they were, but okay.
So completely hated.
It was CXNT she got taken down, right? But that was before. Listen, she tried it on me. She got me demonetized very quickly after I first became monetized, but that didn't even last like 6 hours. Literally, YouTube fixed it within a few hours. Um, and then she got a video demonetized before it even published to everyone. It was just for members. So that's how I found out that she was. But she's smart now. She'll just file harassment or bullying against you. So it doesn't pop up who reported that because it's not a copyright strike. She got a little bit smarter.
Is CXNT and Charlie Gold. There were so many reaction channels that she just absolutely despised. And I don't know if she really like paid for the information or anything, but I do know that she was obsessively watching you guys and
still is.
And just seething with rage.
That makes me so happy to know, Beck. It really does. More so like it is my goal that every day that Amberlynn wakes up, I want her to have that Regina George scream going on. I want her to see the title of my videos, or any video for that matter, and just scream and run to her journal, her burn book, and
Magic Flower says that you recently disclosed to us that Amberlynn kept you in the car and prevented you from breaking up with her. Was that a normal occurrence? Did that happen pretty frequently where she would tell you, no, you can't break up with me? Or was it just a handful of times that you can remember?
I mean, probably any time that Beck actually tried.
There were times that we would get into arguments and she would be like, you can't leave this room, or don't you dare walk out on me. But the car thing only happened one time. There were multiple other times I would try to leave her, but she would emotionally manipulate me into staying.
That's just crazy, dude. That's crazy that she would go through all that. Oh my god. Like, begging someone to stay with you is just probably the saddest freaking thing there is.
Katsuki's asks if you ever...
Especially when Amber had so much shit to talk about Beck. You know what? Let's go there. Amber thought Beck was so beneath her, but yet was begging and pleading for them to stay with her. Which is it, dude?
Like a rebound for Amber, or someone that she could use as bait to try to win Destiny back. Did you feel like Amberlynn was just in a relationship with you so that she could have a partner to show Destiny that she could move on?
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like every girlfriend she gets is a rebound for the previous one. But
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I would say, though, because of the immediate breakup with Jade, Amber did not see that coming. If she knew that things weren't going to go well, she would have had someone lined up. She would have.
Yes, I did think about that, especially in the beginning of the relationship.
How did Amberlynn really feel about Chantal, or Foodie Beauty? Did she have private opinions on Chantal?
Ooh.
Or did she like Chantal?
Ooh, tea.
Did she have nice things to say about Foodie Beauty?
They were on again, off again friends. So, like, whenever they were friends, Amber really didn't care about her too much, didn't pay too much attention. But whenever they were arguing, Amber did talk bad about her like she does anybody else.
So then, no, Amber is not friends with Foodie. Amber does not like Foodie. If you don't give someone the time of day when they're being nice to you, and you only attack them when they're mean or have something to say, then you don't like them. It's fine, Amber. We get it. You have always hated other fat women. It's fine. You can admit that. No one's going to like you for it, but you can admit that. You are a fat-phobic misogynist.
Knives.
That's why she has an issue with every single partner's mother. Every single one. It probably stems from her own maternal issues. but that's not an excuse.
Pilgrim asks if there are actually ways that she is misunderstood by the community or the internet as a whole. Are there things that the reaction channels or the community wildly get wrong, or the camera versus real life does not translate well? Are there things that really Amber Lynn should be given a little bit of a break on that you can think of?
No.
Yo, T. Thank you for validating that, Beck. So now I know I'm not ridiculous.
I used to think that they were wrong, but definitely not now.
And
that's sad. That's sad.
Storm asks, how was Amber Lynn with her money? Does she have more put away than she leads on? Is she doing very well for herself? Do you think that it's absolutely ridiculous that you left the apartment with $100 to your name knowing how well Amber Lynn was doing?
She did make a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know about now, but when I was with
No, she definitely blew through it.
her, she did not save it. She would spend it. And
see, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. Because she was making close to $100K a month at one point. And she blew through that? Fuck, dog. How do you do that and you have nothing of quality? Nothing of value to show for it? Jesus. I mean, it all went to food. It all went to food. Isn't that a crazy fucking concept that this girl could spend 6 figures in a few months, probably in a month, just on food? That's crazy.
And it would just be on whatever random things she wanted. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to keep harping on this, but it is ridiculous that I only had $100
1,000%
to move out on, because I didn't get any of the money from the live streams that I participated in. But I am just grateful to be out of that situation and
true
in a better one now. So that is the end of the Oh Lordy, It's Jordy Q&A video. I hope everyone enjoyed this video and made it to the end. And I want to thank Jordy again for
yes, thank you, Jordy,
setting this up and making this video for me to react to. I appreciate everyone who has been watching my channel, and I hope to see you all in the next one.
Alrighty, so there is a little bit left to it, but we are going to end it at that. So thank you so much, Beck, for doing that for us. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on this video, but also, should we do like a community post or something? Gather up some questions, and then I can do like a little kind of sit-down video in the other room, you know, like for the guru review setup, and we can maybe get some questions out. My only thing is, like I said, I'm gonna want to know the juicy, shady shit. And unfortunately, I don't know as though Beck's going to be necessarily open to answering all of that, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure you guys can probably come up with better questions than I could anyways. So I guess we'll maybe do that. Let me know your thoughts on that, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this video. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their afternoon. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.